So maybe they will build this right, and we'll get Shawn interfering in the Triple H Undertaker match, and that'll set up like a feud with the two of them and Taker will need a little bit of reinforcements, and we'll get the Sting Taker tag team finally.
You expect anything to actually come out of the Super Show? I mean, the last one, nothing came out of it.
I think they learned their lesson. Boom, we're live. Hey, what's up, everybody? Smarkdown Radio. Travis, Brother Bob.
Historically, WWE doesn't learn their lesson.
Well, you never know. There's always a chance they might actually, because, I mean, why else? I understand Shawn wants to have another match. Like, he's been down there at NXT and he's been agenting matches and he's kind of got that bug. So, but it seems like he wants to have another match.
I'd love to see Shawn have another match against anyone else. I have no need to see a third Shawn Undertaker match.
Yeah,
just like I have no need to see a third Triple H Undertaker match.
Because he does look like when you're seeing him, he looks about the best shape he's been in probably like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah,
he looks like he's working out hard, like comeback workouts. So,
I mean, there's so many good matches for Shawn to have. I mean, and there's so many good matches yet for Undertaker to have. Like, I mean, you could take any of the names you could put against Shawn to have amazing matches and put him against Undertaker. Like, you could have an amazing Shawn Michaels AJ Styles match. You could have an amazing AJ Styles Undertaker match. You could have an amazing Finn Balor Undertaker match. You could have an amazing Shawn Michaels Finn Balor match.
So I think it's important to say maybe. We don't know how Shawn's going to do. He's been gone a long time, man.
Yeah, but those guys tend to have good matches with anybody. I mean, yeah.
Shawn has been gone 5 years. How much ring rust is there?
I'm saying guys, not Shawn. Like, Shawn tends to have good matches with anybody,
right?
But then the other guys who I'm talking about, Finn Balor and AJ Styles, when put in big matches, can have good matches with pretty much anybody.
That's fair. But you just can't throw them in there. There's got to be some planning involved. So, I mean.
Shawn and Hunter versus Finn and AJ, Bullet Club, the Club versus DX.
I think, like, if you're gonna do this, like, and the big payoff that everybody, it looks like we're never gonna get is that Taker Sting being in the ring together. Yeah. And everybody, I've been for years now since Sting, it was even rumored that he was finally gonna come to WWE. I was jumping up and down. People are like, "Oh, Sting Taker." I'm like, I don't want to see those guys in a match. Mm-hmm. I think the match would be disappointing. It would be all entrance. No offense, but like those two guys working together, they are a little limited compared. I want to see them work matches with guys and stories that work. Put them in a tag match so they can protect each other with other guys that can work.
That's the thing. Like, from all reports, Sting's done. Like, he can't wrestle. If he can.
Yeah, I don't know.
If he can do a protected match, then why not a Undertaker, like, coming back and, like, fixing Bray Wyatt while Sting shows up and fixes the Finn Balor problem, and then you have Finn Balor and Sting versus Wyatt and Undertaker in, like, a creepy, spooky match at, like,
I don't know. You got options. I was thinking, like, with Michael sticking his nose into this Triple H Taker last time ever match at the Australia show, that would be an easy way to kind of interject. You can have those guys kind of continue the feud all the way to Mania, because Taker's on a very limited, sporadic schedule. You're not pressuring anything. You bring, you have Sting come in and make a save at some point, and ta-da, and it's a real easy story to tell. And really, we're not watching that for the match. We're watching it for the entrances and the feel-good moments, right?
Yeah,
like I mean, the match, unless it was just an absolute disaster in the ring, it would have to be a royal disaster, okay? Because remember, like, Sting never got his win in the WWE. Like,
well, I mean, he beat Big Show.
So Sting never got his win in the WWE. So
he never got a WrestleMania win.
He never got his
problem.
he got his moment.
Win.
Yeah, but he didn't get his moment. And what better way to ensure that than teaming him with Undertaker at Mania? That, like, they've already beaten Undertaker at Mania twice. They're not going to do it a third time, right? Yeah. I say that, but like it is Triple H.
We never know.
So this is the first week in a while that.
So are we advertising for somebody today or something?
What's that? I don't know. It was on the table. Apparently, we're advertising today. We can just take that off. I don't know. It was.
Do you want to see what that was? Watch the unboxing video that's going up this weekend.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay. It was just like there, and I didn't know if you wanted it on the table or not, so I put it up against the board.
I'm watching the monitor. I'm like, what the heck is on the table?
This is the first time in a while that we've had it's predominantly WWE talk, right?
Yeah.
Like I did wear my Suzuki Goon King shirt today because who wouldn't want to wear the Suzuki Goon King shirt? Because support Minoru Suzuki
absolutely.
or he will kill you.
The reason it's primarily WWE talk is because we haven't done that in a while, and
There's
fact
pay-per-view.
and the fact that once you go all in, apparently you need a vacation because the guys are like the Bucks are like, all right, we're not taking matches for the next 2 weekends, and no being the elite for a month, and Flip Gordon tweets out, should I buy an Xbox One or a PlayStation 4? I need something to video game on because I don't have any bookings for the next 2 weekends, and I'm like, yep, everybody's
on vacation. Everybody's traveling back home and taking a break.
It is the indie off season apparently.
So we do have a lot of WWE to talk about. Not in there. Hell in the Cell is right around the corner this Sunday. Raw and SmackDown were basically just continuations.
Yeah, we do need to talk about the last 2 Raws and the odd booking decisions.
Like Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is a great example. So Kevin Owens gets squashed by Braun Strowman for 2 months?
Yeah.
And then comes out and helps Braun Strowman?
Yep. And then I guess they finally figured out they screwed that up, and they tried to address it this week, but the way they addressed it was so weak with Owens saying, well, I beat people up. That's what I do. It's not about who it is. I just wanted to beat up the Shield. I wasn't helping anybody. Well, that's the stupidest
just don't
reasoning.
Send him out to the ring.
Yeah. And then if you're going to have Baron Corbin and Finn Balor in a feud, when Baron Corbin sends guys out to do his dirty work and break up the fight between the Shield and Braun, Ziggler, and McIntyre, Finn Balor, if you're going to send him out, he should be reluctant at the end of the group, not the first guy out the gate. The continuity.
If I'm Finn Balor, I'm not helping Constable Corbin.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you kidding me?
He won't even give you the match that you've been asking for. I'm like, the
doesn't make sense.
Yes.
I don't get it. Bob doesn't get it. Maybe somebody out there. If you get it, tell us. Maybe explain it to us. Maybe we're just too dumb. I don't know.
The crazy thing is I've seen people's theories, and their theories are crazy. They're like, all right, well, Finn's going to join the Shield. I'm like, didn't he just attack the Shield? Finn's not joining. That's the opposite of
what.
I don't understand what's going on here.
Maybe they give the Shield one more member. It's probably a female member, right? If they do that,
it would make sense.
Would that? And Nia's been off TV.
Yeah,
that would kind of make sense, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't They just made it a big deal about how the Shield has taken on the entire locker room by themselves before.
Yeah.
And it's not like the women were out there jumping. So why would you bring Nia? I don't know. Unless you're bringing in somebody completely new, from NXT or even off the, independent scene. Why? Who? Well,
the guys to bring in would have been Authors of Pain, but they have them show up and they cut a promo about how they want to win the tag team titles, and the next week they're out there helping the tag team champions against the Shield, and you're like, That's
sense.
That's not how you get the tag team titles. You should probably be helping the other guys jump these guys to get your shot.
I don't know.
And so instead, who gets that title shot? Well, it's the Shield. I'm like, the guys you helped just got that title shot. You look like idiots.
It feels, just to me, just a feeling. It feels like filtered Vince Russo booking. Where there is a filter, but it's just kind of haphazard. Is that just me?
I'm starting to wonder. WWE, we known for a while, is big on hiring showrunners for TV shows and for movies and stuff. People who write non-wrestling programs.
Right.
And I'm wondering how many people who are currently writing on Raw have written sitcoms compared to continual story type stuff. Are these people maybe not have the experience of doing a soap opera or a
long story arc?
Yeah, a long story arc
with heavy amounts of continuity that you need to be thinking about, where there's limited continuity in like a sitcom where there's some continuity that you have to have, but it's a 30 or 60-minute episode.
And then at the same time, I don't want to necessarily just put the blame on the writing staff, because this could be an issue with your backstage guys who should be choosing who goes out. Like, it could just simply be written, group of guys attack, other group of guys attack, and they're not paying attention to the story enough to decide to make the decision on who should and shouldn't be competently.
It could be, but again, that goes back to we don't know exactly what's going on behind the scenes. We still assume Vince has the final say on everything.
Yep.
But that pretty much hasn't changed. But we don't know who's telling those guys to actually do the run in. Is there a list, or is it locker room? And Johnny Ace is going back. Hey guys, we need you.
If there's a list, I'm assuming it's Jericho. But I mean,
that's a list that depending.
Though if they're using Jericho's list, it's probably a different television show altogether.
Yeah. The list of Jericho making its debut on Impact, I know that won't happen, but
yeah,
Jericho may be making his debut on Impact pretty soon.
Absolutely, and
Woo.
he's not replying to my many a question if this Jericho Cruise is ever gonna somehow find its way to video so people can watch it. But that card is amazing.
Yeah, should be a good time. I know that the big story that was floating around about the Jericho Cruise was. He commented on his podcast that they actually had not sold any more cabins after like his appearance at All In. I think that was like kind of he was trying to get more sales. I would love to go, but man, oof.
Wade Keller touched on this when he talked about All In and about like what it means for the business. And if they could run more than one show a year, what the upper end of how many shows a year they could run, things of that nature. And he mentioned that he felt it was going to hurt sales for the New Japan show in May, because people just like the month before went and bought all those All In tickets, and that's why they didn't have as high sale numbers. Because if you're going to invest $1,000, $1,500 into a show for a weekend experience, you usually can't do that more than 6 months apart. Most people.
I think the
so
limit,
I'm wondering if that's.
I think the limit's probably like 4. Just and depending on where they're located.
Yep. I mean,
if you spread them around the country, because
or if they spread them around, like they do, one in Europe, 2 in Europe, or 1 in Europe, 1 in like Australia or Japan, and then 2 on opposite ends of the U.S.
So
maybe?
Like. Obviously, you can run one. If you can get a venue, you can obviously run one WrestleMania weekend wherever WWE is having WrestleMania. That's one. I think you can run
New Japan and folks are running one that weekend.
That's what I'm saying.
We were talking All In, but okay.
Oh well, I'm saying like if you're shows, I'm thinking you can get away with 4 a year. One, absolutely, you can run WrestleMania weekend wherever WrestleMania is, as long as you can get the building.
Yeah.
So. The Ring of Honor New Japan Super Show, the G1 Super Show, whatever they're calling it, at MSG. That would be one. All In's a good example. I think you could run that once a year in Chicago, and people would go to it. And then there's probably room for 1 or 2 more big shows, depending on where you strategically place them in the country. One out on the West Coast, because that way the West Coast fans that can't make that trip east or can't make that trip to Chicago,
I kind of think we're at that point already. I mean, they've done New Japan had done 2 West Coast shows this year, and they're doing one in Florida end of the month.
Right.
And then the All In show was at the start of this month in Chicago, and then I don't know. Do they have? I mean, that's what are we at? That's 4 right there. Yeah, and then whatever ROH runs at least one big show.
Yeah, usually that's going to be the WrestleMania weekend show. So I think we're at least in the market the way it is now.
Yeah.
Again, I mean, just looking at it as you would any business model, and this is you listen to like the stories that some of the guys tell about when. Like Crockett expanded and overexpanded too quickly in the 80s, and then when Nitro during the Monday Night Wars overexpanded too hard and they started doing Thunder and stuff. I think it's great to be excited about all this, but I would be a little wary about trying to super saturate with shows
Super saturate.
Yes. Oh, Jesus. Only
Super saturate party.
super saturate party. No, we don't want a super saturate party because then the market, it gets watered down. And again, shows aren't going to pull those big numbers. They're not going to pull these big headlines. And then it's going to become, well, why aren't they selling out?
Exactly.
Why aren't they making money? And we want them to make money. We want them to continue these great headlines.
one show that draws 5,000 in a 10,000 seat arena is going to drastically hurt moving forward.
Yeah.
I mean, where WWE, even WWE feels that. You get the reports of like, oh, they only sold half the seats for Detroit, or whatnot, and that hurts. I mean, they showed footage from Raw where Roman was and Braun were supposed to actually like meet up in the ring here last week, and photos went online that like half that arena is empty. Like they're just missing seats in every section. Like people were just like, going home. So that hurts.
The Detroit Smackdown from a couple weeks ago, people were tweeting shots. It was they said 40% tarped off for TV. Like it was all. I mean, it was. They're just not selling a lot.
Smackdown was that way here as well in Grand Rapids. I mean, Van Andel is like 10,000 seat ish, and
they had
half of
they
it
had
off.
Last time I went, and this has been a few years. Here
we
in
went
Grand
last
Rapids.
year, so
okay.
yeah.
Even then, the upper there was most of the upper. There was I think there was one section open in the upper bowl, and then they had the hard camera position. So they basically the entire upper except for one section opposite the hard camera was open, and then the hard I think that was kind of to replace the hard camera spot.
Yeah.
So, and then that was it.
Yeah,
so I mean
similar.
you figure that's 6,000.
Yeah, similar. Most of the upper they had like one spot in the upper that had some seats, and then the hard camera section, that entire section was closed.
That's standard.
And then on both sides of the hard camera section, it was about like 50% full.
Oh,
and
wow.
I was like, wow, yeah.
Like when we were there, the whole lower bowl was, you had a few seats here and there, but it was pretty full.
Yeah. I think they, and from what I heard while we were there, we talked to some folk and they had mentioned getting, apparently WWE does, like if you know a person within the company and you can talk to them, they do seats for people, and you show up like an hour early and you go through a little seminar, and they give you a T-shirt of whatever superstar they want promoted, and they say, all right, well, what we're gonna do is someone will come find you, and we'll be like, all right, there's an open seat here, and you go sit there, and then if somebody shows up for that seat, you say, oh, sorry, I have the wrong seat, and you get up and you find one of the people in the shirt, and we move you to this section.
Well, seat fillers are. I mean that's been happening.
And apparently there were quite a few at this show where they still couldn't fill it.
They use those. Live shows all the time, award shows and stuff like that. So I wouldn't be surprised to find out there's some of that going on. So we got a lot of storyline continuation. The Shield axe handle bit. Okay.
When your indie guys start tweeting, "Hey boys, you're missing a major part of your weapon there," that's funny.
Pretty funny. Little chop action.
Yeah.
No choppy. No choppy pee pee.
You got a bunch of guys in freaking SWAT gear carrying around axe handles without the head of the axe. I'm like, why am I supposed to be scared?
Yeah, why can't if they're wearing that tack gear, why can't they like come down with like tack clubs or like billy clubs or is that a little too close to real life?
Maybe. It's just I don't know. I think Sting used to show up with a baseball bat and beat up the entire NWO.
True story.
Mick Foley used to show up with a 2x4 wrapped in barbed wire to beat people up. Triple H would hit people with a sledgehammer. These guys show up with a freaking axe without the head. I'm like,
axe without the head.
Yeah.
Well, it's something.
They'd be better off showing up with axe and smash than the axe without a head.
I bet you'd get more stories.
Yeah.
It'd be more entertaining. I'd rather listen to Demolition Shoot for an hour than watch the Shield beat up people.
Absolutely.
I'm good with that. So, really, it's just this slow, agonizing build to Hell in a Cell, and this is a really lackluster pay-per-view.
And it's a weird way, like usually, so the whole concept of cage matches before they started making this a yearly pay-per-view thing was the fact that nobody could get in, nobody could get out. You had to have a finish. you weren't going to have interference. That was kind of the idea of a cage match. And here you have two groups feuding, right? It would make sense to push that angle of, all right, we have them in a Hell in a Cell because then their other group members can't get in and attack them, and really push that. But you end Raw with Braun Strowman going off on his own without his buddies, and him and Roman getting a fight with none of the other members there. So obviously they don't need the cage to stop that.
Yeah.
And then you have the tag match between the Shield and McIntyre and Ziggler, and that isn't even in the Hell in a Cell.
Can I also point out how? All right, I understand that you have this tag match, so you're not gonna have multiple matches in one night, same person. But how can you not figure out a way to have meaningful feuds on a pay-per-view with your Intercontinental and U.S. champions?
Same way you can not find a spot for friggin' Finn Balor.
Are we back to where those titles have been devalued?
Absolutely.
Like that far? Like, remember, 5-6 years ago, those titles were basically worthless. Like, remember when Dean was the U.S. champion and defended it like 3 times in like a year?
They have been devalued so much that the U.S. champion is in a match for the tag team titles. Or the IC champion is in a match for tag team titles. Well, the U.S. champion, the two guys he was feuding against, are in a Hell in a Cell match without him. That's how disvalued they are. I mean, there's no other way to.
They don't care.
They could have had that be a triple threat Hell in a Cell for the U.S. title, or a one-on-one match for the U.S. title. But
I don't care. Like, I'm shocked that. It's good to see the tag titles getting a push, I guess, because they've missed. But again, like, this isn't.
They're not real tag teams.
They're not real tag teams, and it's just the.
Rusev Day, I guess, is kind of now a real tag team, but really,
yeah.
But
it's not like
Ziggler and McIntyre.
It's not like the Revival's getting a shot.
No, it's not. It's not like Sheamus and Cesaro lost their match for a shot.
The
and they've
Bar,
been multi-time.
Like where are all these? Like, you've got all these natural tag teams, and
they're too busy friggin' saving the Shield or attacking the Shield.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, they could make the tag team division so much more, and it would make the show so much better if you were having main events week in, week out, where your tag titles were being defended in meaningful feuds. You've just eliminated, Raw is 3 hours, it's too much. Well, if you would just utilize your damn tag team division correctly, it wouldn't be too much time.
And making it even crazier, the rumor for Evolution is that there's going to be a women's tag division announced. And I'm like, because you need another tag titles.
Yeah, so they can just.
I mean, you're not. You're not using your US, your IC title, and you're not using your tag teams to their worth. Why do you think you need to add another title? I mean, I am all for a women's tag title. I just they need to do something to clear out these pay-per-views to make these titles worthwhile. If they're going to bring these two shows back together, they need to just bring the two shows back together.
It's not inherently an inherently bad idea. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is we don't have faith in the WWE to book it and make it worthwhile. It's like the idea of a 6-man title, which inherently I'm not against the idea. I am very against the idea of a WWE 6-man tag team champions, because they don't even know how to book the regular tag team champions.
I mean, if they, with all these titles, there are options. They could make their main events of their television, right? If they're not going to be able to fit all these, because they're doing dual pay-per-views together now, if they're not going to be able to fit them all in the pay-per-view, then they can start focusing their main events on every month in between them, one tag team title match, one IC title match, one US title match, so that both Raw and SmackDown, 2 out of the 4 weeks in between, have a main event that's a title match. And
seems legit. I'd watch.
And you can still add them to the pay-per-view card if you want to, but it doesn't leave guys just completely out with nothing going on, which is what it feels like right now.
Yeah. It just seems to me like there is a lack of ideas on how to manage the talent, the ridiculous amount of talent they have right now. It's absurd. They have so much talent right now, and
that's
it's,
what happens
it's
when you
the
buy
same
out your
7
competition.
people. It's the same 7 people every week. Every week. Like, okay, we understand that you have to get to the payoff match in the pay-per-view, but how many, like, I'm pretty sure that we understand that The Miz and Maurice versus the Bellas
Yes.
is an ongoing feud, and we're going to get that. Like, they could take a week off. It's not going to hurt my feelings. And
I feel like the only reason we're having that match is to prolong the Daniel Bryan Miz feud.
Right.
And I mean, otherwise,
well, now that it's been confirmed that he's resigned, if the report out of the Super Show is true, I would expect, and we're going to do our predictions, but I'll say this now, I would expect Daniel and Bree to win this match, and that puts kind of him and Miz at 1-1. But I would expect it to be, I kind of expect Bree to beat Maurice.
I almost expect them to lose just so the Miz can then be like, I have 2 wins of you, I don't have to fight you, and then the shot at the title being put in there as the
I could see that.
Reason for him
I
to
could see both of those scenarios. Like both of those are logical scenarios. You have Bree go over Maurice, and then Miz can talk about, well, you didn't beat me, Daniel, that type of thing, or have him win. But at 1-1, it also gives them, okay, well, it's the blow-off match and it's a title shot, because that was the stipulation that was being rumored, was that at the Super Show in Australia, Miz and Bryan were going to have a match 1-on-1, and the winner of that was going to get a WWE Championship shot, which I'm okay with, because at that point you have to assume that Bryan's going over in that match, right? Because the fans will mutiny. Again, you don't want another full. You just managed to do damage control. You finally have done damage control on Roman. Okay, I'm not saying it's great. Let's not go down that road. Okay, I don't want this to turn into a 20-minute diatribe on how they've mismanaged Roman.
I don't know. The reports were he was heavily booed on Monday again, but whatever.
All right, Bob. Compared to where they were even 3 months ago. This is damage control. This is about as good as it's getting.
Now people are leaving. I think it's worse. People walking out during the end of the show, Raws, and half of the arena empty because people didn't want to stay. I feel is worse than people booing him, because now they don't care.
I would disagree, because on the TV product, it's easier to hide people missing in the seats, and for people who aren't following people on Twitter and following wrestling deeply, they're just the surface level fan.
I just feel that people dropping $100 or more on tickets, and they start leaving their Raws on a regular basis early, and then options of MSG show and All In are out there as other alternative, which new people are finding.
But
I mean, eventually it's gonna. I mean, their house show numbers are in the toilet too.
We talked a little bit about this before the show. You had a conversation with somebody on Twitter just this week where they wanted to watch All In, and they didn't know how to find it. And this is somebody that
was at the show.
Yeah. Well, and follows a lot of smart wrestling publications.
Well, I mean, they didn't know how to find it inexpensively. They knew how to find it on ROH and on Fight, but
I think you give too much credit to the general wrestling fan and the amount of knowledge and time they're willing. There are a lot of smart fans out there. We talk to the smart fans. We are we try to follow, and even sometimes it's overwhelming for us. Okay, there's a lot of info out there. But the general fan who watches WWE twice a week, they watch Raw and SmackDown, and then they watch the pay-per-view once a month. They're not following Twitter, seeing guys post half empty or quarter empty arenas and people walking out, because they don't care. So when I say damage control, it's easier to control the narrative.
The people who are there are watching people walk out and are wondering how come people are walking out at the end of the show.
They're
a half hour before it's over.
They probably are well, this is dumb, and then they dismiss it because they're not hardcore fans. That we're talking about that surface level of fans. Let's be honest, the hardcore fans, Vince could hand us a plate of excrement, and we would probably still watch it. Okay, because and we would crap on it.
You do know the WWE's fan base is currently like in the last from the 90s to now. So in the last 20 years, WWE's fan base has gone from that 18 to 30 demographic.
Yeah, it's a kids demo
to currently being a 40 plus demographic.
Well, it's kids and it's their parents.
Like it's the 40 plus demo. So it's the same. They're not drawing new people. It's they're retaining less than what they had because their numbers are drawing half the ratings and half the attendance of what they used to.
I don't. Okay, like when you post all-time low ratings, that's something to talk about. But ratings is not the only indicator anymore. You can't compare the Monday Night War ratings to today's ratings because people get their content so many other ways. TV ratings really aren't a fair gauge. Like, yes, when you're talking about people walking out, that's important to acknowledge. When you're talking about the overall reaction, the overall money, but look, they just got $1 billion TV deals. They're making more money as a company than ever. Vince is not going to change. Like, it's not going to change. It's just we need to find until Vince is gone. It sucks saying that, but until Vince is gone, this is going to be kind of the status quo, and I don't know if it changes even when Vince is gone, because let's face it, like Stephanie and Hunter are corporate people. They're going to want to keep that corporate train rolling, and
the thing is,
a point I can't blame them because of money.
I think the product now is different than the product was 8 to 10 years ago, and not completely for the bad. SmackDown is still putting on a pretty good show. I would say the wrestlers who are in the company now, as far as in-ring talent goes, are better than that who were there overall in the Attitude Era.
We've talked about that. Yeah, they are.
So I think it's shown that they're not going after the big, huge guys only. Those are the guys they're trying to push, but they're signing guys like a Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles, where we would have thought 10 years ago those guys wouldn't have a chance of making it into WWE. People
There's
have said
definitely
for
an
years.
influence.
So
yeah.
Things have changed. It's just there are still some issues which keep rearing their head that haven't changed.
And part of that, I think, is just that corporate. Like, they've got to keep it family friendly. It's a public. It's a publicly traded company. There are stockholders they have to answer to. They've been a little more edgy in the last year than they were the previous few years, and that's, I feel like, we've talked about it too. Like, I'm okay with, you don't have to not be family friendly. People forget, Nitro for the longest time, in the Monday Night Wars was, it was a PG, like, it wasn't PG-13.
No,
it was a PG show. It was adult oriented. It wasn't children oriented, but there wasn't a lot of cursing and crazy lewd behavior and, puppies. And it was just wrestling.
And I don't know if there's anybody who we're discussing, like your indie type fans, who are actually asking for that to come back. I think your Monday Night War Attitude Era, it's not the Attitude Era anymore. We wish there was like a Stone Cold and there's no more bra and panty matches. Those people are going to be your older fans who aren't watching your indie product. They're not.
Probably.
Who aren't looking for like in-ring technical skills and wants that soap opera feel.
I'm a guy that grew up. That was in my wheelhouse, and I hated the bra and panty match. I was like, but again, like, I was a teenager. I was like, well, if I want to see bra and panties or more, I'll just go to the internet.
Exactly.
It's not a big deal. I tune into wrestling to watch wrestling, not to watch porn. Like, if I wanted to watch porn, I just go watch porn. And I guess there, that was,
I don't know. I thought bra and panty matches were fine when they were doing it.
If it was valid
once in a while,
yeah,
and it was like and they were still doing when they started doing them, they were still doing like tuxedo matches. Like, you'd still see a tuxedo match once in a while, and you're like, oh, okay, so it's just the women doing the same thing the men do. It's not a big deal. But then it started being like lingerie pillow fights and mud matches and all kind of just ridiculousness.
All right, well, let's talk a little bit. Let's talk about a little bit about the Hell in the Cell card.
Right.
You sound incredibly happy to be talking
I don't know.
about
There's like
this.
one match I'm interested in, maybe two.
There's a couple.
Yeah.
So we've got the SmackDown Tag Team Titles match, which is New Day versus Rusev Day.
Yes.
Rusev Day.
Yeah. We'll have to see if Lana's gotten over her terrible character appearance in the video game.
Oh man,
actually,
yeah, I'd be
there.
a little miffed too. like they took one of the best looking like people, period, men or women in the WWE, and when they put her into a digital game, doesn't even like remotely resemble her.
Part of the problem is your WWE corporate are idiots, and they sent them the wrong photo. They sent them a photo from some kind of special photo shoot they did with like characters if they were like in a movie, I think, some kind of like if this character played in a movie, and like it was what she was wearing if she, in that like photo shoot, and she had like a short wig on to like pretend to be that character.
Yeah.
So they sent them that, and that's what they then based it on.
So that's what they modeled it off of.
Because
that's
they didn't
terrible.
send her any of her actual,
Lana was rightfully so unimpressed.
Yep.
I can completely understand. That character didn't look anything like her.
It looked more like Renee Young. Like she
Yeah,
had like a Renee Young hair.
It looked like Renee Young hair in a weird outfit. Like you would not know that was Lana unless it said it was Lana. So, and I'm pretty convinced that every day's Rusev Day because he did marry Lana. I think that's why he's so happy at every day's Rusev Day.
Yes.
But do you think they have a chance of switching the titles here?
Probably not. I just think they didn't have anything else for Rusev to do, and they were like, well, we did just, we gave you placate him with that title shot at Mania and then a world title shot afterwards. So he's going to leave if we don't make him happy, so we should probably put him in something.
We should probably put him in something because, we got to keep him. So I think my prediction's New Day. New Day retains.
Absolutely.
I don't really see a reason to change the titles right now. I like Rusev. I'd rather see him off doing good things on the singles side, being properly used. But
I mean, I would like to see Rusev and Shinsuke in a Hell in a Cell match for the U.S. title. That would have been nice.
We've got Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton,
two guys I don't want to watch wrestle anymore. One because I'm afraid he's gonna die, and the other because he's a creeper of like extreme levels.
Yeah,
like. There are so many just terrible stories.
Do you think they're going to shake hands
Orton's
before the match?
If I was Jeff Hardy, I wouldn't.
Yeah, I would not either. No code of honor?
You're not allowed to mention that in WWE.
I gotcha. And this is one of the two Hell in the Cell matches. And there's nothing on the line here other than
Jeff Hardy's health.
Jeff Hardy's health.
Yes.
Like, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, he's going to jump off something, and I'm like, I don't want to watch this.
Man.
We're going to get to a point where Jeff Hardy's going to be seriously injured one of these giant spots that they consistently put him in matches for. And, I mean, I like Jeff Hardy. I would prefer to see him in some really good matches against guys like AJ or Daniel Bryan or Dolph Ziggler or any of these guys who can go without watching him have to jump off cages and ladders and scaffolding and things.
All that being said, I'm picking Orton in this match.
RKO out of nowhere?
RKO out of nowhere, probably a couple of them.
Yeah.
And my guess is that's going to be one of those big bumps he takes. It's going to be some ridiculous RKO out of nowhere through like off the top or through the cell.
Jeff goes off the top of the cell and Randy catches him an RKO onto the announce table or some shit.
Yeah. Something. Yeah, no. I realistically, I'm thinking Orton goes over here because I just.
Oh, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. They seem to really like Orton for some reason.
Yep. The SmackDown Women's Championship.
God, who knows what the heck they're doing with this? Like,
I have seen tweets that say if Becky doesn't win, we riot, and I believe it.
When we get to the Evolution card, apparently they have a match on that too. So
yeah, I don't know if allegedly we're going to talk about the leaked Evolution card after our predictions here. Maybe that's the.
I don't know. Like
I don't know.
I don't know
like,
if
do they switch the
hold
title
off
now, or does Becky gets DQ'd? Something. It's gonna be some schmazzy, dusty finish.
Yeah,
or something.
Probably some kind of.
And no title changes,
Yeah.
and then they can take this match to Evolution, and that'll be the main event. One of the co-main event at Evolution, where they actually switch the title to Becky.
Yeah,
that'd be my
could
guess.
see that.
Like I could totally see that.
What I'm thinking.
I could see Becky.
I can see Becky winning too. I don't see Charlotte winning clean.
No, I think it's schmazzy to set up the third match.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. So, Raw tag team titles. We have again the Intercontinental title not being defended, but hey, whatever. So we've got we've got Ziggler and McIntyre versus 2 out of 3 Shield.
Yeah.
Part of me wants them to switch it. Like, because then you got the Shield running around with a ton of belts, and it makes them a legit faction like we haven't seen in a while.
I don't know. I'd really like. Well, I guess
I don't think they do.
But. I mean, I want to see the Authors of Pain get these belts sometime soon. And my thing is where I would be okay with them switching it to Shield, because I'd like to see Shield versus Authors of Pain for titles, and then have Authors of Pain beat the Shield. That'd be really awesome. At the same time, like, we've devalued these belts so much already that, like, switching it over to the Shield and then within a couple months switching it over to Authors of Pain is not helping those belts or helping the Authors of Pain.
I don't know. I think putting the belts on the Shield would help the belts a little bit, just because the Shield are going to get a push regardless of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So if the belts are on them again, you can't have it like when Ambrose was the U.S. champion for so long and he just didn't defend it. Eventually that gets old, but it did kind of it'll short term it'll elevate, but then if they're not defending it or whatever, it'll devalue. It'll be a short term spike.
They just
sell
took
high.
They just took him off the B team and put him on Ziggler.
Well,
and
they
McIntyre.
were transitional. That's why I don't think they're going to change these.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't
like,
think they're going to.
Three transitional champions in a row would be a bit much. Because I mean,
right up the WWE's alley in the tag division.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna go with Ziggler and McIntyre. I think that makes sense to keep that.
I think they're going to have them keep it.
Because I mean, the rumor has it that Braun might be walking out now with the belt. So if that does happen, that's what the rumors are.
No, the rumors are lying bastards. They're lying. They're not taking that belt. They're not taking that belt off of Roman. They are not. They worked too hard to get to this point. Roman's going to have that belt probably until well after Mania next year.
That's what the original talk was.
I don't believe it. If you know what, if they do, God bless. But like if you're buying that, I got a bridge in Brooklyn.
I think the Shield gets over much easier with them chasing those belts and being screwed constantly than they do having all the gold and friggin'.
That's probably true.
Chasing people with accidentals.
That's probably true, but I don't think that they're going to rock the Roman boat because, like I said, they've got it to the point where it's at least in damage control mode. So you've got the Bellas versus Miz and Maurice, and I swear to God, that's how you labeled it in the cutout. Bellas.
It's the total Bellas versus Miz and Mrs. It's the two reality shows coming to a head.
And we talked about this. I'm going to go. You know what? I'm going to pick Miz and Maurice. I've been waffling on this. I could see it going either way, man. I feel like depending on how it's booked, it could go either way.
I mean, Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella just got over on them.
Which is
Smackdown.
Which is why I'm picking Miz. And I thought about that at the car ride over, and I was leaning towards that, and I'm like, well, they could have. The 1-1 split, and then they go to the tie-breaking blow-off, go to that rubber match. But no, I think Miz and Maurice get over again. I don't think it's clean, and I think we get definitely at least one more match of Miz and Bryan one-on-one. Hopefully at the Super Show for a world title shot.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll go with Miz and Maurice as well.
I think if Daniel Bryan and Brie win here, there's a good possibility that Bryan gets screwed over at that Australia Super Show. And so We'll see what happens.
Yeah, that would be.
I mean, I could.
Are they gonna give
So,
Miz another title shot?
I don't. Well, the thing is, like, so if AJ retains against Samoa Joe, right? Who's his next challenger? I mean,
AJ's retaining against Samoa
I know,
Joe.
but if he does, who's his next challenger? I mean, as much as I'd love to see him versus Daniel Bryan, you don't really have
that's
a
face
heel.
face.
Yeah, that's face.
That's face, and the fans will go insane because
So,
it's face, and it's gonna be a great
if
match.
Joe wins, then that has AJ going after his belt back for a little bit. So eventually you could have Joe Daniel Bryan, but do you really want to have Daniel Bryan versus Joe in a situation where Joe's matches are not the softest of matches, and WWE, as concerned as they always are about Daniel Bryan, they going to?
He seems to be holding up pretty well. No,
there's a lot of questions though there in both directions.
I think we're going to learn a lot about the direction of what's going to go on in the next couple of months from that match, like this match and the Joe AJ match, because like if Miz goes over here, then you have to assume that Daniel's gonna get his revenge at some point. He's the babyface. He's got to get his revenge at some point, unless you just gonna bury him, and that again,
like done in the
suicide.
Past.
Suicide at this point. Like it's just
the WWE hasn't been making the best choices.
Well, but I think
Charlotte.
I think that's one that Vince learned his lesson on with Bautista. So. Like they learned their lesson. I don't know.
I would have hoped they would have learned their lesson with frickin' Orton, but then they did the Bautista thing because, I mean,
like that's what I'm saying.
They screwed Daniel 3 times.
It became,
I don't know.
It became undeniable, and they finally decided to do something. Anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna go with Miz and Maurice. There's a couple ways this could be done well. We'll see which way they go. I mean, it's probably going to be the way we didn't think. We're going to be like, man, that was just terrible, right? We're holding our breath for the best. And
double count out.
Worst. Oh, jeez.
By the people who weren't tagged in.
Yeah, something
ridiculous.
Terrible.
Yes.
This is not extremely confusing rules. This is Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, well, they're not in Hell in a Cell, so
that's true. But I'm saying
rules
like
could still be extremely confusing.
Oh man, every year there's always something about Extreme Rules where the rules are they're not extreme, they're just confusing.
Yep.
So you'll hear that leading up to that pay-per-view. Raw Women's Championship. I can't see Ronda losing this belt.
If our rumors are true for Evolution, then she won't be. So.
She won't be. I don't think it's necessarily a squash like before. Like you can't unless they're trying to unless Alexa has like legit backstage heat. Like why would you squash her that badly? I'm
wondering if you see some interference to set up matches for Women's Evolution.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be, but I don't think we talked about before
Mickey comes out to help Alexa, and then like Lita makes a surprise appearance.
Could be
something that nature. Yeah, I thought
that they were going to wait to switch this belt. They did not. At the last pay-per-view, I thought Alexa was going to go over. I thought the money was in Ronda chasing, but now that she has the belt, I don't think they're going to move it for a while. That would make her look weak.
I just hope
unless she just gets absolutely hosed.
Well, they're doing the angle where she's injured, so we'll have to see how that plays in.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't think they move the belt. I'm picking Ronda.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. Like we seem to be on the same page for most of these.
Joe and AJ.
Yeah.
I'm picking Joe, man. Like this is it. Like this is one of those cases where if Joe doesn't go over, to steal a Cornette phrase, he gonna look like a plate full of piss.
I still think they're gonna go that route of AJ being longest reigning WWE champion since
maybe
whatever.
That I mean, and that's not bad. Of all the guys you can really do it with, like that's the guy to set the mark. But really, like Joe is gonna look like a plate full of piss if he doesn't win this title. Like think about Joe's feuds. All right, Joe feuded with Lesnar and didn't win. All right, like his top tier feuds. Now he's feuding with AJ, right?
Yep.
And for titles. And he
looked
looked good against Lesnar. He looked good against Lesnar, but he didn't win.
Yep.
All right. And he feuded against Roman, and he really didn't win.
Yep.
And now he's feuding against AJ, and he's got title. Like it's now or never. Like you got to put the belt on. Like And I'm hoping again, you recall back, he teased the Muscle Buster. They played, and it's not just that he teased it, and Corey Graves talked it up.
Yeah.
At the last pay-per-view. Do we get the Muscle Buster at Hell in a Cell, get the win, get him over? Again, logically that sets up for a Bryan Joe feud. It's not going to and it sets up, you're going to have Joe and AJ keep going.
Yeah.
It extends their feud. But if Joe doesn't win here, Joe looks bad. And that sucks because Joe's an amazing talent.
Yeah. I think a lot of it depends on whether they want AJ to break that record and whether they want to give Miz higher profile matches because of how well his TV show is doing.
Yeah, I mean,
because if they want either of those things, I suspect AJ goes over in this match.
That's a real possibility.
Yeah,
I mean, and it's not necessarily bad. I'm just saying, like, it hurts Joe, and I think you can get to those high profile matches. After the first of the year with Miz, you can get back there easier than you can recovering Joe. Like, if you choose to beat Joe at this point, you're pretty much right. Joe's going to the mid card, or Joe's, I don't know, but he's not a top tier guy anymore. Like, he has failed to beat all of the other top tier guys.
Yep.
So what do you do with him? I don't know. So I got to pick Joe. I just have to pick Joe. Yep.
I'm going to say AJ. I think WWE has track record has shown that they are going to go probably with Miz, and then that would set up a AJ Miz feud. And if they're, the talk had been that they wanted AJ to break that record because they had Lesnar break the record for longest title.
Yeah,
or whatever,
and everybody was like rejected that.
Yeah, and so now they're like, all right, well, nobody liked this, and the one before that was Punk, and we don't want anyone to talk about him.
Right.
So there's a reason for them to put somebody else's name in that.
That's the thing. Like, this isn't about AJ. Like, AJ's great. Like, everybody.
AJ is phenomenal. Yeah.
Har.
See, I almost said it because I used the word, and I was like, well, I guess.
So, nobody has any gripe against AJ. It's just, what do you do with Joe when all he has done is lose title opportunities and lose to top guys?
Joe needs, like,
I mean, he picks up a win here and there.
God, if they would just put Joe with, like, the Authors of Pain and have them, like, feuding with the Shield, and, like, that would be so good.
Yeah, but we'll see. I mean, like, I'm gonna again,
or even with the Usos.
Will it surprise me? Will it surprise me if AJ wins? No, it won't surprise me. Yep. But I got to pick Joe. I just got to. I got to.
And I mean, I won't be shocked if Joe wins. I think he definitely deserves the win.
But, he absolutely does. Yeah, and I would love to see Joe win. I would love to see a nice, maybe not extra long run, but a nice 6-month Joe heel title run where you have some of the baby faces chasing that belt again. Yep. I think we're ready for that. So, yeah. So
another guy who I don't want to see in Hell in a Cell, Mick Foley.
Well, at least he's not taking bumps. Hopefully.
Well, yeah.
Hopefully. Frick, Mick, don't take any bumps, man.
I mean, Roman's not, and Strowman aren't taking bumps off that thing. So
somebody's taking.
I know, right?
Like, but otherwise, why not?
They're not gonna.
So somebody's going through Hell in a Cell, right? That's gonna be the gimmick, right? Like Braun. Like, Braun's going to get speared through Hell in a Cell.
Yeah,
right?
There'll probably be something
of that
nature.
Right? Because it's still,
no one in that match is going off the top.
No.
Yeah, neither one of those guys.
And I don't want to see either one of them
That's
go
what
off the top.
Jeff Hardy's for, apparently.
Oh, man, poor Jeff.
All right.
So, like, I don't know.
If you're going to give me Hell in a Cell, give me a reason for it other than making it a spot fest. For WWE being these guys who are, have guys in the roster who talk about flippy shit, they love their spot fest pay-per-views that are all based around, like, an inanimate object people can jump off of for no reason other than that people can jump off. That is
true.
It.
It's just that one big spot. Everybody's waiting for the big dangerous spot.
Nope. The fact they didn't make Shane McMahon the referee in this shocked me.
Hey,
I was waiting for them. He took his bumps, something, but
he's taken his bumps the last few times that there's been big caged structures. So, I really don't. get why they're having Mick in here. Like,
he didn't even interact with the two guys in the match. Like he came out and screwed with
it's
Elias.
We need to put somebody in here that the fans aren't going to boo.
Maybe.
Like I mean, like, because now Braun's a heel. And people are like, I guess we're supposed to boo Braun. Like,
I mean, if the Rock can't get Roman over, I don't think the Sock can get Roman over.
Yeah, man, that's a tough. I don't know, man. I don't think they're changing.
Maybe
the belt.
on Raw they'll do Roman. This is your life. They can show all his childhood pictures with the former WWE Hall of Famer guys.
Yeah. What was the clown that Yurple the clown? Thank you. Oh, I knew you'd remember.
Sacco, Mr. Sacco.
You know what? I'm going to bring my Mr. Sacco. I have a Mr. Sacco autographed by Mick Foley. I'm going to bring it in.
Wear it on your hand during the show.
Wear it on my hand during the show. That'll be awesome. I don't think they changed this belt.
Yeah.
I don't care what rumors you were hearing.
I would be shocked if they do.
They're not going to move that belt. That belt's probably not moving until.
I'm still trying to figure out, and maybe you can tell me, because I fast forwarded through a lot of my WWE programming because I just can't put 3 hours into watching that. So I don't get a lot of the commentary. How is this in regards to the Money in the Bank briefcase? How is this? This is just cash in? Okay. So we're gonna have 2 years in a row where
this is similar.
The winner,
he's not gonna cash in. This is very similar to Rob Van Dam cashing in at One Night Stand on John Cena. He's like, here's my thing. Here's my briefcase. I'm cashing in for a match at this location.
Because I was wondering, because they did a video package, and part of the promo from the video package was Strowman saying, "Hey, I tried doing this like a nice guy and giving you warning, but now I'm not going to," and whatever. And I'm like, all right, well, you screwed that up with the Shield, and I'm like, all right, so maybe this isn't like, and it wasn't really clear. And as I said, I haven't listened to all of the commentary because a lot of it has to be on fast forward just to get through it in a timely manner.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's a RVD Cena thing. He cashed in the briefcase.
If Roman wins, we riot. Are we going to see those signs?
I doubt it. I don't think people care enough.
Yeah.
Like, again,
if Roman wins, we leave early.
If Roman wins, yeah, pretty much. Well, that's why this is going to be the last match, right?
Are you saying boo or boo earns?
Boo. Boo! For all you Simpsons fans out there.
Boo Roman or boo earns?
So, I suppose we should. That's not what I was looking for. Do you have it over there? Ah, there it is.
I sure do.
Okay. The Evolution leak. You couldn't get this up into a graphic because graphics are dumb sometimes. Allegedly, a match card was leaked for Evolution.
Yep.
Allegedly. We don't. This is completely unconfirmed and could be just a fake, and some of it looks legit. Yeah. I mean, but really, like, you're looking at it, you're like, really, no big deal.
I don't know. There's a lot of good matches on here. This is gonna end up, if this is the card, this show is better than what Hell in the Cell is, and it's gonna be
true story,
freaking long, because there's 14 segments.
Lot of stuff. Some of it I could do without. Well, let's go over kind of what we got. We've got Rhea Ripley versus Ginny versus Killer Kelly versus Dakota Kai in the UK Women's Championship match. That'll be good.
Yeah.
It'll be probably spot heavy.
Yep.
I
love me some Dakota Kai.
Should be really entertaining. And then it says number 2 special announcement segment.
A lot of people are saying is going to be that women's tag titles. Which, would make sense. Because
that would make sense because of the rest of the way the rest of the card shakes out.
Yep.
So they come out, they do the special announcement that they're adding the women's tag title.
Yep.
Okay. They're doing a Carmella talk show with the Ladies of Glow.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming this is the pseudo partnership they have with Glow.
My wonder is this like the original Ladies of Glow, or is this the Ladies of Glow from the programming on Netflix?
I think it's the programming because you've had a lot of
Well, I
like
mean,
actual
Ivory being on there as an actual woman of Glow.
Yeah.
That would make sense for them to actually bring in some of the women who were on Glow at the time as well. It could go either way, I guess. I mean, I guess it depends on how they booked that.
We'll see.
Maybe it's some of both.
Again, we don't
like,
even know if this is real, but
yeah.
I mean, there's some potential there. And then you're getting Riot Squad versus Sasha Banks, Bailey, and Ivory, allegedly. I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
that could be a really good match.
Yes, it could.
Mae Young Classic 2018 final, and I don't want to read this because, like
person A versus person B.
Person A versus person B. Like, if you want to know, I'm not gonna allegedly spoil. Like, I don't believe it's all up. That's one thing I'm not caught up on yet is the Mae Young Classic. I know it's they're rolling it out on the network now, so I don't even know where they are in the process. This is that whole point of, even as like hardcore fans, there's only so many hours in the week, and you just can't keep up with a lot of everything. So I'm actually probably going to catch up on that this week. So I'm not going to spoil that, but allegedly you're going to have the Mae Young Classic finale, and then you're going to have a 20-woman battle royal where the winner faces Kairi Sane for the NXT Championship.
Yeah.
That could be good, right? In terms of battle royals,
your battle royal,
right?
Spot.
In a big, I'm okay.
Yeah, big show battle royal spot needs to happen.
Okay, as long as it's not too long.
Yeah.
I mean, it's battle royal.
Card's shaping up to sound a lot like that All In show. Battle royals.
I thought that too. I read this and I was like, is this somebody who just watched All In is like trying to get us? Match 7, segment 7, Asuka versus Ember Moon. That has a chance to be match of the night right there.
Yeah.
If you go back and watch their matches in NXT.
Absolutely, that's going to be amazing.
Man, that's got a chance to be a match of the night right there. Really? I didn't even see number 8.
Naomi and
Melina.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, it's cool having Melina back. I just don't know what the reasoning for
what's
that match
the point?
is, but sure.
Here's your old school match in segment 9, Mickie James versus Lita, and that goes back to that. Maybe you have some interference this Sunday to set up future things.
Yep, quite possibly.
That's like a feel-good thing for the older fans, right? Like, we're the only ones that care, right? Because it's like we loved them back in the 90s.
Yeah.
So, where are we at?
I may have driven from Grand Rapids to Chicago or to Detroit after a third shift working night to go to a Kmart to meet Lita. And when we got there, the line was so long. They were like, we capped it like a half hour ago. And as we explained to them that, hey, we drove, like 3 hours, they didn't care. And these girls in the line overheard us. And when like the security people turned their back, the girls were like, here, you're with us, and like pulled us in line with them. And they ended up going out and grabbing food with them afterwards and stuff. So that was super cool. But like Lita, we were big fans back in the 90s, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Who didn't mark out when her and Trish main evented Raw? Yeah. That was a big deal, and it was a good match.
Yep.
So Kairi Sane versus the winner of said battle royal.
Yep.
Bliss and Trish Stratus.
Yes. It's gonna be good.
It could be good.
Yeah.
Like I don't see why it wouldn't be. Elite, really? Like
Alicia Fox and Kelly versus
the Iconics versus Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville versus Beth Phoenix and Natalya
for the women's tag team championship. I mean, it makes sense. I guess
that's a lot of moving parts in a match.
Yeah,
and a lot of moving parts in a match. I don't know. Like, I mean, I don't hate it, but I don't. There's nothing. I mean, I'm not like losing my mind. So it's okay, I guess.
I mean, they gotta put the women's tag team titles on somebody, and getting some of their legends.
Who do they put it
match.
on? Well, like it's
the
Iconics,
or
the Iconics are Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose, right? It's
absolutely.
one of the it's some of the full timers, right?
I would assume so, unless they talked Beth Phoenix into making a short run and put it on her and Natalya. That would make sense too, being that Natalya's father was legendary.
That'd be cool.
Worker and,
I'm not even gonna lie. That'd be all right. I'd like that a little bit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not going to be Alicia Fox and Kelly though.
No. It's especially after Kelly's performance at the Women's Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Yeah. No offense. That was a little ring rust there. Woof. Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair for the women's championship. It doesn't say who's the champion. That's why it's like this could be real. It could be not. We'll find out, in October. And the one that is confirmed, Nikki Bella, Ronda Rousey.
Yep.
For the Raw women's title.
Ronda retains, which we're assuming
she's going to retain.
Yeah.
I don't think they're moving that belt.
Nope.
But that one already leaked, so we know at least that part's right.
Yeah.
Right? And we know that Trish and Alexa Bliss are that's legit.
Yep.
So that's why it's like, okay, well, this could be real.
And
or
I mean,
it could be somebody
the legends
on
the rest of the card are people they brought back for that Battle Royal and for other things.
It's believable.
It's
believable. It's not out of the realm of possibility.
It's not like they have Medusa listed as having a match or
something crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brandy Rhodes.
Yeah. Or
although I would mark out for that, I ain't gonna lie.
Or Emma's not listed.
Emma's not listed.
Yeah,
no, she's too busy trying to win a title in Ring of Honor.
Yeah, exactly.
Just saying. So yeah, Evolution I think is gonna be a good card. It'll be interesting to see. I like Renee Young on commentary. I like this change. That might be the highlight of Raw. I didn't hate Coach, but he was very. I liked him for what he was. He reminded me of the lovable, facey, oafy guy. And he's a very knowledgeable sports guy in general.
I just hope they don't ruin Renee Young like they ruined Corey Graves.
Corey has there are times where I love him and then I'm like, why are you doing this? Just be a heel.
Yeah.
Just be because he is healing out, when he is in full he is the most entertaining heel commentator I have heard since the last great Heenan and Ventura and those great heel commentators. When he goes full heel, when he goes full on heel, God, do I love him.
Part of the problem with their commentary is they need to pay their fact checker guys backstage more money, because it's just too often that Michael Cole and specifically Michael Cole and Corey Graves give you information on past storylines or past championships that are wrong. Byron Saxton, amazingly, seems to be the more competent of the group as far as his historical knowledge of the company and his remembering what happened week to week, which is weird when Corey Graves is shut up, Saxton, you're an idiot, and treats him like that, when then Corey immediately says something that is completely incorrect.
It happens.
It's one of those things where I'm hoping they get. Renee had a couple of things where she mentioned previous champions and stuff in her couple appearances where she was incorrect, and I'm like, man, I just get your people on microphone and back who feeding the talent lines, get them on the right page. They should have access to the majority of this information going in. They should have a run sheet set up with what's coming up and what facts to put out there, and that should be fact checked beforehand.
Probably not a bad, but how much of that is people just randomly in his ear or in their ear and being like, say it, God damn it. We know who we're talking about, right?
And the one that got me that was really weird this week was on Smackdown. They kept saying how Maurice was a two-time women's champion, two-time WWE women's champion, two-time WWE women's champion. And I'm like, well, she actually never held the WWE women's championship. She's held the Divas championship twice.
Right.
And then the Miz gets on the microphone and is like, how dare you call my wife a coward? She's a two-time former Divas champion. And I'm like, oh, Miz is getting fined.
There we go. Screwed it up.
I'm like they're going out of their way to play this so that they don't have to mention divas, and I'm like, Miz, you just wrecked that.
Womp womp. So it should be the next. We got 3 big events through the end of October, right? In terms of WWE stuff, right? You got
a million in terms of everybody else. It's a wrestle heavy month, man.
It's getting we'd be a little remiss if we didn't talk about Destruction.
Yes.
Destruction in Hiroshima. I'm getting my champion.
It's terrible name.
Maybe we shouldn't talk about it. I think
I don't know.
Oh man,
name.
I didn't hear. Woo.
Yeah.
I didn't call it that. That's New Japan name.
I know. I'm like, if this was a U.S. show, man, there'd be like all kind of like,
oh man,
like xenophobia and bigotry,
yeah,
like all over the place.
So New Japan's next big show is Destruction in Hiroshima.
Well, they have 3 shows that all in a row that weekend. It's one in Kobe, one in I don't remember the other one, and then one in Hiroshima.
But Hiroshima's I think
title.
the big one.
Yeah, the big
That's
title.
we're getting Ishii and Kenny Omega for the championship,
and that's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, if it's a fraction as good as their G1 match.
Well, I mean, if it's a fraction as good as the tag match on the 9th, I mean,
yeah,
Kenny and Kota Ibushi versus Ishii and Ospreay. Oh my God, that was
a lot of talent
match.
in the ring.
Yeah, that
a lot of talent in the ring. I'm really looking forward to this. I don't think the title's changing hands, but part of me can hope. I really like Ishii, man. I'm an Ishii mark.
You have more chance of Roman losing than you do of Kenny
probably
losing. Yeah.
Which is one of the reasons why I think it's somewhat a possibility, because the shock would be something that would resonate, and they can get that title back on Kenny before Wrestle Kingdom next year. Like, could you imagine the headlines that would make in the wrestling communities if they switch that title?
Yeah,
it'd be a big deal.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if
I don't think they're doing. I'm just saying. I
mean, I think it'd be interesting if he had lost due to interference from Firing Squad, and then instead of immediately going after his rematch, he's like, we got to deal with these fools, and then you have Firing Squad and Bullet Club feud up until closer to Wrestle Kingdom, maybe a month, 2 months out, and then have Kenny, or even feud all the way up to Wrestle Kingdom, and have so you could actually have Tanahashi versus Ishii. And
that'd be good.
Then have Tama Tonga versus Omega. Winner faces the winner of the other match at the.
You have to assume that
at the MSG show.
Tama Tonga's push is coming this year, right? 2019 is going to be the Tama Tonga push.
Could you see Omega and Tama Tonga, the winner face the winner of Ishii and Tanahashi at MSG?
It would have to be, well, you'd have to put the belt back on Tanahashi, right? That would be, I'm okay with that. I'm just saying, like, that would be like what you were thinking, because you get,
So then you could have that Tanahashi
oh my God
Omega match at Madison Square Garden instead of at Wrestle Kingdom.
That'd be pretty good.
So I mean,
like there's
definitely a possibility to do it. I just don't think that.
I don't know if they will, but it's fun to speculate.
Yeah.
I
don't know. I didn't think they were going to take that belt off AJ and then have him win it back. Like,
that's what I'm saying. New Japan. Like, that's the thing with New Japan. Like, you really, even if you think you know what's going to happen, there's still enough of a air of uncertainty in their matches, because their top matches, it feels like the top guy could drop the belt. Like, yeah, they had Okada carry that belt for 2 years basically.
And with Wrestle Kingdom, 4 months from
that's
MSG?
Yeah.
So I mean, you could have a title change at both of those.
Maybe that's what they've been setting up.
I mean,
like, maybe that's what they're setting up. I don't know. Like, I really,
or you could just see Kenny hold the belt and continue this feud with the Killer Elite, or the Killing.
What?
Firing Squad.
There you go.
The Firing Squad.
OG style.
Yes. And then Kit Madison Square Garden and watch Tama Tonga get his coronation.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that could have a thing too.
So
Tama Tonga. Since we're talking about Tama Tonga, like, Twitter war. Good. You want to be entertained? Just follow Tama Tonga on Twitter, man.
Yeah,
he will make
Cody.
Man, him and Cody are going at it now.
Yeah. Work themselves into a shoot.
work shoot. Work shoot. Like, is that where we're at? Like,
so, and his call for like a female member of the Firing Squad, Bullet Club, and I'm like, I immediately sent that photo of Leva Bates posing with God in the Bullet Club gear. I'm like, there you go. I'm like,
well,
she's already got the T-shirt.
Sorry, got the T-shirt, guys. So I'm really looking forward to that It's that match specifically
Well,
in that
so,
show.
So we got left in September. We have the Destruction stuff.
Right.
We have Ring of Honor.
Yes.
And then we also have the New Japan show in Florida. Where
I haven't even looked at that card yet.
Well, I know.
When is that?
28th.
Yeah, it's the end of the month.
Yep.
That's why I haven't looked at the
and
card
it's
yet.
got Cody versus
That's the
Juice Robinson for the U.S. title.
Yes.
So I'm like, wow, like, and then there's also an NWA show
October, beginning of October,
yeah.
the 70th anniversary of the NWA, where Cody's gonna Nashville. Nashville. That doesn't sound right.
Pretty sure it's Nashville.
Pretty sure it's Nashville.
Yeah, it's at the Asylum.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, you're
Where
right.
TNA
I was
used to do
I was gonna say Knoxville. I was like, that doesn't sound right either. Tennessee. There we go. We'll just
wonder where Kane's a mayor. No.
Yeah, I don't think
that's a different city.
That's Knox County.
That's Knox.
That's kind of Knox County. Yeah, you were kind of right. Yeah. All right, so the 70th.
I'm trying to keep your
70th anniversary.
Going.
Oh Jesus, the 70th anniversary NWA show where Cody is going to defend the world's heavyweight championship in a rematch against Aldis,
which I guess he could be U.S. IWGP champion.
That could
at
be
that point too.
multiple. He's going to come out with like 32 belts. Like
wearing those all-in belts he was given by.
Do it. Just do it. Did he get that? Did he get the Ring of Honor back?
I'm assuming he did.
I
haven't
haven't
seen collateral.
Yeah,
so
it was collateral. So
I don't know.
I assume he's got the Ring of Honor back. But so you've got the September super loaded. The beginning of October, you got the 70th anniversary show. And then you're moving into Evolution and the Jericho Cruise, which hopefully we'll get some video out of at some point.
God, I hope. If you're going, bring a camcorder.
Yeah, please record that for us. Please. We'd love to.
Yeah.
We'd love to see that. So,
I mean, if they don't have a deal in place, bring a camcorder. Start a YouTube channel and make you some advertising dollars.
Like, dear Chris, you can store me in like the smallest, cheapest room possible. I have a camera. I will record it.
I don't need no stinking room. Let me use the shower in between.
I just
in
need
between
a bed.
days, and I'll just sleep out on a lawn chair on the deck.
I'm okay with that too. I'd like a room where I can go and just like, even if it's shared room, I'll come shoot it for free. Just put me on board. Just make sure I don't starve to death.
Yeah, you show up with a freaking like camcorder from the 80s.
Yeah, I'm gonna come.
A tote full of VHS tapes.
The giant unit,
Betamax.
Dude, Betamax in it. Yeah, for real. It's gonna be a one camera shoot. Sorry guys, we'll just do a old school hard camera. We'll just do an old school. We'll set it up. It'll just be an old school hard camera shoot. Like looking like the 70s, like
no
house tapes.
No commentary.
No commentary. Just
make sure you have the camera set up next to someone's like family so you hear their kids talking.
Yeah, something like that.
Some of those old PWG shows.
Oh man. Whew. Yeah. Well, there's some good like old house footage from like some of the territory days where it's just like that. Like it's just like it's like arena noise.
Get your peanuts
It's
here.
like arena noise and just a match.
Yeah.
Like on like random, so it's like a murmur of the crowd, and then just you're watching a match. So go old school. Just go old school.
You can put all that commentary and stuff in after the fact.
Yeah, we've learned that. You can do that, right?
Yep.
Like they do it for New Japan all the time.
Yeah.
So, all right, Bob. So I think we've covered quite a bit.
Yep.
We banged through it. I mean, like again, I wish we were getting more out of Raw and SmackDown that we were in terms of in-ring performances. What we do gets good.
Man, Raw was like, so the Raw having I thought the two best segments of Raw was Triple H's promo and then Mick Foley's promo, and I'm like, well, that's a problem.
So before we round out that the fact that feud and your most impactful segment involves a guy basically who's a part-timer who's about to wrestle another part-timer, and there's a retired guy in the mix. That's sad.
How much of this do you think is WWE like pre-planned? They were going this direction compared to how much of it was a reaction to how well All In did and wanting to give people a reason to tune into Raw and boost some ratings and stuff after that All-In show.
I don't know.
I mean, word has it that the 18 to 25-year-old demographic like shot up crazy for WGN in that time slot that they had the pre-show.
I think this maybe is not a reaction to All In. I think this is more of a reaction to the MSG show. I think that's the. I think Vince wouldn't have any idea what's going on with All In.
Well, I mean, we do know that he made a phone call of like, is Jericho on All In right now? And they're like, yeah, we're watching him. Like he was shocked that it happened. So he heard it and like he called folks, but apparently didn't watch the show. So
that's what I'm saying. Vince isn't going to watch it, but like that's big enough news that probably did get Warren a phone call. But the fact that they're running in MSG, I think this is a reaction to that.
Yeah.
That combined with all-time record ratings lows leading into a $2 billion contracts basically. Like you got to show something.
It's really sad though that with a roster sporting AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, Shinsuke Nakamura, these really, really solid workers who all have big names and have drawn elsewhere, that they had to resort to bringing back Undertaker, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and Mick Foley to try to get like pay-per-view buys and ratings boosts. Like,
yeah, sad that you can't find a way to use all that talent and get your ratings up that way. So, Bob, I think we should wind it down, man.
Yeah.
Like I don't. Sometimes short and sweet is a good thing.
Yep. If you haven't seen yet, we do have some new video content. We have more All-In content up in the All-In playlist, and there is a unboxing video, and another one will go live Friday.
We're also working on a couple of potentially bombshell interviews, huge
interviews bigger than we probably should have.
Legit, like for a small up and coming startup show. I mean, if you've just started following us, Smarkdown Radio existed as a podcast, audio only podcast for about a year. We went on hiatus. I moved away. I'm back. We're both in the same spot, and we decided to go a YouTube route this time. So we're relatively new again. You're starting on a new platform from fresh, and I'm hoping, knock on wood, that we can announce some things in the next couple of weeks of some pretty large bombshelly type interviews that we completely don't deserve, but may be able to swing anyway. So stay tuned for that. I think we're going to hold off on doing our first pay-per-view companion until Survivor Series. I want to do a big one for our first one. And again, Hell in the Cell just really, maybe Evolution. Maybe we'll do Evolution.
We could talk about doing that Long Beach show maybe too. I mean,
yeah,
ROH runs on Saturdays, so I mean
we're gonna. And I've also talked to a couple other local people that might be coming in occasionally as a third mic, get some more perspective. My friend Kevin is a Roman Reigns fan, so that'll be interesting. Put him and Bob on the mics together, because Anyway, so please, guys, if you want to do us a solid, like and subscribe, and hit that notifications bell, and so you get notified of when we go live. We go live pretty much every Wednesday at noon in the East and 9 on the West. If you want to get a hold of us, Smarkdown Radio on Twitter, at CPBuff22 for Bob, or you can email us. It's smarkdownradio@gmail.com. We can get your long form thoughts. We can get your input. It'll probably get read on the show. Unless you're sending awful, heinous things, then I'm just going to ignore you because I don't need that in my life.
We'll forward your email on to Tamatanga.
Yeah, we'll just let him shoot on you. I don't care. Like, yeah, we love
or New Jack. We'll give New Jack their address,
dude. I'm trying to avoid starting the New Jack gimmick again. So that's an old gimmick. We need to get some of the old shows up so that fans actually know what the hell we're talking about. Well, I'm not a fan of New Jack, guys.
He's no David Arquette, but.
All right. With that, I'm ending the show. Bob, you got anything else?
I got nothing, man. Make sure to hit up that bell icon for notices of new content and when we go live.
We'll see you next week. I'm super kicking the button.